Hello, everyone, and welcome to Heart Shaped Boxer podcast. We are now on episode 22, and I'm extremely excited to introduce this year's Takeover at Download headliners. We've got Drew, the bassist, and Ellis, drummer from October Ends. Welcome, gents. Are you okay?
How we doing, guys? How we doing?
Thank you for joining me.
Brilliant. You're very welcome.
Especially after Hector, you've literally just finished your tour, haven't you?
Yeah.
We did, yeah. Finished that 3 or 4 days ago. It was like a week-long run across the UK. And yeah, just getting back to reality now. Pretty sad.
True blues, honestly. Very sad to back to normal life.
How did it go?
Class.
Brilliant.
Really
Brilliant, yeah. It's surpassed my expectations. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, the turnout wise and just like crack wise, like got on really well. It was a lot of fun. Played Rocket League a lot, didn't we, Ellis?
Oh yeah. Me and Drew went from being Rocket League novices to Rocket League pros by day 3.
Yeah, absolutely smashed Rocket League. Like,
Where was your favourite place you played, and what was the best reception you got?
for me, it was Camden. We did the Black Heart in Camden.
Okay.
It was just like it's quite a small venue, but like turnout was really good. So it was like packed, and it was like really sweaty. Got a lot of like moshing and pits and that, which is like basically like what you want at a metal show. Yes, that's probably the reason as well. It's because it was like the best reception, the best vibe. It was just like, yeah, I'd been at shows there before. It's always super loud and super like aggressive, and like I think it was like that for us as well. So I was really happy with that.
Do you get involved in the action in the crowd then, or?
I don't. I have done in the past. Remember what album launch, Ellis? Remember when I got in the pit? There's a song One More Round. There's a really long build up, it's like the breakdown. I got in the pit and separated the wall of death, and then I was on like one side of it, and then because it's all just like open note, so like it's fine to like you could do that riff whilst like motion. Then got in the wall of death. It was pretty crazy, and then I had like there's a bit where it was like and I had to get back on stage, and like when I did, like my bass kind of fell like behind my shoulder. Out of this, absolutely whacked this girl in the face with my bass, like absolutely. Yeah.
There's a video of it, and like you see the video, and like she took some whack, but she was okay with it. She was like, "It's okay, it's totally fine." Like it was amazing.
Like it's lucky it was her because she sings for this band called Kilo Nova around here. So she's like, and they're like thrash. So she's like used to that like like world. But like if it was anyone else, it would have been big trouble. But luckily it was like like she's hard, so it was fine. But yeah. So I guess subconsciously that's why I don't get in the pit anymore. Because it's like I don't want to health and safety on me anymore.
Have you had
I'm on the back of the stage, so like I mean, I've wanted to do my drumstick, but that was purposely at Nick on tour because he wouldn't stop speaking Greek. So I was just like, "Shut up!"
Do you never get tempted to run from the drums at the end of it and just stage dive or anything? Then,
I mean, no, because I'm normally knackered. Like I'm still kind of new to the whole like metal scene and metal drumming. Like I was in like a cover band since I was like 14, so I've been playing like nothing but pop. But then I obviously got the audition. Luckily, somehow managed to pick me out of the load of drummers that applied. And to this day, I'm still just getting better. That's Bear. He's annoyed because he's can't come out of his cage because he keeps biting stuff and chewing stuff.
Is he only young? Is he?
Yeah. No. Well, my dream is to one day be able to really throw a drumstick out and someone catch it. But I feel like we did that now, I'd throw it out and get it thrown back at me twice as hard. So
that wouldn't happen. You're trying.
Download's definitely got to be the place for
it. Probably. Who's this band? Anyways, I got a drumstick for free. I don't mind.
So, what was your kind of background? You saying you're new to kind of like the metalcore drumming. What's your kind of background then?
Well, I've been a session drummer since I was 16, but I was predominantly just doing like covers. Like it's mad because like when I first joined the band, I was playing like October End stuff, learning metal stuff, and then on the weekends playing like Whitney Houston and Maroon 5 and stuff, and it was nuts. It was a weird thing. But no, I'm just pop like pop and rock and funk and stuff, all that stuff that you have to learn. But metal was like a somewhat new. Like I always like metal drummers, but I thought I'd learn the stuff, and now I've grown to love it. Now I basically dove into everything metal, and now I've just got so many new bands that I love listening to. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky, to be honest, because the drummers that auditioned were all metal drummers.
Okay.
They're all class as well. So it's just like, still feel lucky to this day to be in the band.
What about yourself, Drew? What kind of background did you have before joining the band?
So I joined back in 2021 because Alex joined, the other guitar player. He joined a little bit before that, and me and him played in like an instrumental prog metal band called Alto Stratus for a few years, and that was like genty, like shreddy, like stuff like that was like really technical. Like we played Tech Fest. Like we played Tech Fest one year, and like the level of just like shredding in that band was just like mental. It was just like just constantly trying to just like keep up with that. And then I've done like all the cover stuff as well. I've got a gig. I've got a cover gig tomorrow actually. Like still doing that. They're still doing the weddings at the weekends every now and then. But yeah, it's like all sorts. Like I used to be in a math rock band. I'm a lot older than Ellis, so I've been in like a lot more bands.
I'm just a baby.
Yeah, Ellis is a baby young boy, and I'm a dirty old man. But yeah.
So you've both got that covers background. If something happened over the next 2 weeks where I don't even know who the act is, but say the Eurovision don't have a British act, and came to you and said, "Will October Ends come and play Eurovision, but you've got to do a cover," what would you reckon would be the cover to do for you guys?
It's a good question. Well,
I think a metal version of Proud Mary would be
that'd be great. Like me and Alex used to be in this cover band, and we had a stupid version of Proud Mary. But we're just do it like an octave lower, and then that would be it, I guess. That's good because like before we joined, the band used to do quite a lot of covers. Like one of the first songs they got, I guess it got put on loads of plays, was like a Linkin Park cover, and we did that there's like a Chester Bennington Memorial CD. So in Newcastle, all the bands put together.
Oh, okay.
And so they recorded a cover of From the Inside for that. And then after that, I think that like popped off a bit. So they started doing a few more. They did a couple of Post Malone tunes and Juice WRLD.
Yeah, I remember watching it, listening to it even. When I first like searched the band up, I saw like these covers and I was just like, it's fucking class. Like it's like it was weird to hear like original stuff, but then how they like just like adapted the covers to the band's style was really cool as well.
Yeah, it's just like the vocals from the original with like bugga 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 bugga. Like, nowadays though, don't know, do like I guess with Geordies, so we'd have to do like a Sam Smith one or something, aren't we? We'd have to lean into it. We'd put with thick Geordie accents on. I'd have a Brune on stage, just lean right into it.
Unholy.
And football t-shirts as well.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the October Ends story begin?
Right. So for me, it started in 2017 when their bass player at the time was like away for a while. I think he went to work on a ship or something. And so I was filling in on bass for like all of 2017. So that's how I met them, and never actually joined them. But the oldest member of the band is George. He's been in since 2015 or 14. But from what I've heard someone say the band started in 2006. Okay. Like it was like a high school thing where just like, because I was in a high school band called like Northern Assault. It was just like you're in these like little high school bands and that you cover like Lamb of God or whatever. But like it was one of them. But like it just never like went away. Like it's totally different band now, like 10 times over. It's been like a million lineup changes, but it's just like the entity of October Ends has apparently been there since 2006, which is absolutely mental to me. That's the year after I started playing bass. So it's like, yeah, like the actual roots, got no idea. It's like lost in time. But
when the band, 8-year-old.
You were 8, yeah. I was
8-year-old, 2006.
Yeah, I was 13, 2006. And
I'm not even going to go there. That's making
yeah, but yeah, like the band as it is now, I think like when Nick joined, the singer with the beard, he joined in 2018 or 19, and I'd say that's like the current October Ends is like when he joined, like the more modern metalcore sound with like the Bring Me the Horizon influence, like that started like when Nick joined. So yeah, like objectively everything before that is like a different band in my eyes.
Your first EP was in 2018, is that right? A New Path?
Actually, that was 17, yeah.
17, all right.
Yeah. That was the one that I was like playing when I was touring with them.
Okay.
Back then. Yeah, that's like way different. Because it was like a different songwriter. Like it wasn't like, I think that one was like all Michael and the old drummer.
Okay.
Who got deported. But yeah, it was like that was way more like mid noughties metalcore sound, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot less like synths and like a lot more open note. Like it was all open note. I remember doing those shows and thinking to myself, geez, I haven't touched a fret in like 5 minutes. It's like, yeah, that's right, it was 2017 that EP. Yeah.
So would you say that's when the kind of like the official October Ends starts? And
yeah, I'd say like because like there was an album before that George is on, but apart from that, yeah, like no one in the current lineup has had anything to do with it like before then, really. So yeah, it's 2017 really when it started.
So and then Alice, you say you joined earlier this year, was it?
I joined late last year, October last year. Like I got sent the stuff maybe what was it, Drew? Like the start of September, maybe.
Yeah, like we were doing auditions like over the summer. I think Ellis was one of like the last ones. Then I think we were sending you the stuff to learn like September, and then you actually auditioned maybe end of September, and then like we picked it like straight away. Yeah.
But no, I remember it was like 2 weeks before the headline show.
Yeah.
I was just kind of thrown into the deep end, like hardly, because it was more rhythmic than I was used to, like on my feet. So it was like a lot of weird patterns that I wasn't used to. So it was like sitting. I hired a storage unit from where I live. I paid like £260 for the month and deposit the same. So like all in like £520. But I got like the half of it back, obviously, just to practice the set and get good at the set. And like the light kept going off every like 2 minutes because I wanted the light only came on with motion in the hallway, and I was in the unit with the door closed and stuff. So like every 5 minutes I had to get up and like walk outside for like a second and then walk back and sit back down. And that's how I learned the set. And then went to rehearsal, seemed to like me. And then like a week later, they were just like they're all on like a FaceTime call on a Messenger. And I thought they were gonna say, "Oh well, like thanks for picking someone else," but instead they want me to be a part of it. So I was buzzing for like the following like 2 weeks, and then I was like, "Oh shit, I've got to play these really good now."
How was it joining the band then? Coming into like obviously they've got already this band in place, and then you're coming in as a newbie. How did you find it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite the social chameleon, so like I can wear joggers and fit in with chavs in a corner if I wanted to, or I can wear skinny jeans and fit in with absolute metalheads. So it's weird. It's kind of a gift and a curse to be a chameleon in that way, but they're all really easy to get along with straight away. Like if someone that I've been talking to for like a month and I meet them for the first time, they just like shake my hand and we've been like talking all the time. It's just like, yes, professional, but like every single one of them give me a hug, and like straight away I just felt like with like just a load of lads and having like laughs straight away, having the same sense of humor helped. Like everything was just, it was like I was just like meant to be there. So I didn't feel out of place. Even when I got parts wrong, because at the time I was still kind of shit at it. They were just like, no, it's fine. You've only had like the short amount of time to learn this stuff. Like it's okay. So like just having like the understanding there that I was still new to it, but the thing they said to me was like, you look like you've got a lot of potential to learn this stuff and be really good at it. So that's what took away from it, and basically just got good at it. Now we are where we are. We've done that tour, and just apart from having a really sore calf every single night because I refused to warm up, which is very silly. There's like the sets just sounded tighter and tighter every night, and then by the time I got to Newcastle for the last one, like just non-stop praise from like everyone in the band, and we all just like it was class. It was really, really. It was like I'm kind of meant to be here, a really cringy way, but it was good.
Excellent.
So cute. That was cute.
Let's go back to Download then. So obviously, the announcement came through a few weeks ago that you're going to be headlining the first night at Download, the takeover. How do you feel for that?
Buzzing.
Yeah.
I'm still in shock, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I was actually gigging in a holiday park, and I got sent a message in our group chat of just like, guys, we're headlining takeover stage of Download, and I went nuts. And the rest of my band don't know what Download is because they're all like just pop and they don't know the metal scene at all. And they just went, oh well done, I suppose. I'm just like, you're joking. And then 5 minutes later, I was up and playing bloody Maroon 5 and Whitney Houston for the next hour, just like trying to not think about it. But no, I was buzzing for like, I'm still buzzing now. I'm more in disbelief, to be honest, because it's crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe it either. It's like I think Nick submitted us for it a few weeks ago, and I know like I didn't really think much of it because there was like hundreds.
Very late, wasn't it? It was like what, like a few days before the entries closed.
Yeah, like it was late, and there was hundreds of submissions, like 527.
527, yeah.
Yeah, I read, so I didn't really think much of it. I thought, there'll be like some other like band, like, oh yeah, but now then I remember because me, Nick, and Alex lived together.
Okay.
And I was in the kitchen, and or it doesn't matter. I was in the kitchen, living room, and Nick went in the toilet because Nick gets out of bed at like 4 p.m. So like I was having me tea, and Nick went into the bathroom, and I guess he was making brown, and he just went like, oh my god, and started just like absolutely shouting, and then I was like, what the fuck's going on? What was it? He said, we're playing Download. I was just like, oh wow. I was like, fucking hell. But yeah, like, it was a really funny way of finding out. Because because I totally forgot that we even submitted for it. So then it's like,
what was the first inkling that you found out? Was it just an email from them? Was it?
Yeah, it was
a message, wasn't it? Nick got messaged on Messenger by the woman who like sorts it all out.
Hebs,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy as well because if you actually they've just released a playlist of the 23 bands they shortlisted as well, and it's incredible like playlist in itself of all the kind of bands so it shows where we're at with the heavy metal scene right now in this country. They managed to shortlist 23 bands that all could have easily not just played the opening night, but also could have been easily slotted onto any of the stages on another night.
Well, you know the band Rituals?
Yes, yeah, we've had Lewis on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because they played with us on our album launch. Like, we know the Rituals lads from like being around here. Yeah, they're playing it as well. They got it was that like Marshall Records thing. Yeah,
they won the Kerrang the deal.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, and like that's like an amazing opportunity, and because I think it was like the people like voted for it. Like it wasn't like a panel; it was like fans, and they've been like grinding and doing like stuff. So they got a really loyal fan base. So like it's like really really good for them. Yeah, so they're playing it as well. So we got us on the Wednesday, and then I think they're on the Thursday.
They're I think they're opening on the Saturday. They're opening the Avalanche.
Yeah, the Avalanche stage as well. It's crazy, and that's like it's not even like the smallest stage. That like I'll be like out of the 4, it's the second biggest. It's huge. Yeah. It's a massive marquee. Yeah. So that's good for them. I can't wait to see them. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go crazy for them. It's gonna be class.
It's obviously as well coming back to like the testament of Newcastle. You've got 2 up and coming bands that are going to be featuring in the weekend of probably one of the biggest festivals in the world when it comes to Download Festival.
Mental.
Yeah.
Mental, man. It's first year it's sold out ever as well.
I So I had to beg my missus to go. I've been ill, and I was like, I need to go. It's like a bucket list thing for me to do. It's the 20th anniversary. Yeah. I'm a massive Slipknot fan, and they're headlining the last night.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know if you can go. And then I managed to get an agreement out of her. And then I got the tickets, and then the week after they announced that it had sold out. So I was just so glad I got the tickets. Like,
yeah, man.
But yeah, so you'll see. I'll be there on the Wednesday night.
Oh, amazing! Give you a big fat shout out.
Yeah, it's just a stacked festival all over. You know, we've had a few bands on here that we've had Graphic Nature that are playing as well. And I think one of them said, when we saw that we were on, we were just waiting for the lineup to be kind of like usual Iron Maiden, Kiss, and all that kind of stuff. But then when you see kind of lineup, and especially for them with bands that they kind of admired when they were starting out, they were like, it's just going to be an absolute amazing weekend.
That's the same with me. Like I saw Bring Me on Architecture on as well, I'm sure.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Like that band to me is literally, it was the first band that I listened to before I was even okay. Bear, I'm sorry. The only band that I kind of first got into when I first listened to metal.
Yeah.
And like I got in a rabbit hole of like literally everything from like Hollow Crown and like newer, and I was just like addicted. And now they're like my biggest inspiration for like drums and just playing metal in general. I fucking love them.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
They're doing the really cool thing at the minute. You know, like Bring Me kind of done it where it's like they've transitioned from like more technical, faster metal into like just like massive like stadium. It's like a new sound. Like I don't want to call it stadium rock because it's like different than that, but it's like I know like a lot of people aren't a fan of the new Architect, but like it's so good.
Stadium metal.
Yeah.
They brought that more melodic into it as well. That kind of where the hooks are there, where people are, you get drawn in, you sing along straight away. So you know.
Yeah, it's like
Motor car journeys. I've blown up my vocal cords singing along with Sam Carter. I can't count how many times.
It's like there's just like so much more like space in the music now, and like it makes sense because the spaces that they're playing are like physically bigger, so it's like you like more space in your music to fill it up.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really smart what they've done, and like I saw them touring, not the latest album but the one before, in like Leeds, and that was really really cool. Like they're playing all the Armageddon stuff. I was banging.
What three acts then are you most excited about seeing over the weekend?
Straight from the Path. Straight from the Path, one of my favorites. I saw them. I saw them last year, but I took my beer bong to the gig, and then I did too many beer bongs, and I can't remember it. So I really really want to see Straight and like remember it this time.
That's one for me as well, just because of Craig Reynolds, really. Like, loving the Downbeat podcasts and stuff. And just everything that, like, just his playing and everything. Just, Stray. They're probably definitely Stray, Bring Me. Probably Architects, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm probably Stray, Architects, and, like, you know, Electric Callboy.
All right, okay.
Fucking, like, I don't really listen to it that much, but I've been watching, like, the music videos and a few videos live. Like, it seems like it's going to be like a huge party. It's going to be like a massive fucking party. Like, I'm going to bring my like gold star like vest and my headband and just go like 80s on the Electric Callboy set. It's going to be mint.
So Wednesday night, what can the fans expect from you guys on that headlining act?
Energy. And more energy, because like if you haven't seen Drew on stage, you got a lot to look forward to. He's like one of the most like energetic bass players I've seen, besides Flea from Chili Peppers. Like, just the amount of stuff that you do, Drew, it blows me away how you can even play bass and do it at the same time, to be honest. But yeah, no, it's just like we're just getting tighter and just better live. Like the tours really helped with like all up, because I think that was the first time that we've played that much together, and the first time we played live since the headline. And the headline was still a bit like, I was still a bit timid with like my fills and how I played everything. I just wanted to play the parts right and get through it.
Yeah,
But
now he
now,
shreds.
like,
Now he absolutely shreds.
now I just put fills in random places and make sure I come back in on the 1 or 2 and I'm
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, really good at that. Yeah, like I feel like I don't know. It's always just been like just like energy. So I think like it's a very like unique thing you get at like a metal gig is like this level of like movement and like intensity, and like we're always trying just like let's put that across. I think like this tour, because like it's the first tour that we've done with this lineup, and really, like that's like really helped us like we know how to like bring like a lot of energy now, and I'm really looking forward to like just trying to get people to do a Wall of Death like down to be meant. Yeah, it's basically it, the energy.
Okay. Well, let's go to the music now. So you've just released, I think it was Friday, wasn't it? Your stripped version of an EP with a narrowed down version of Phases, which is stripped, the acoustic version of your 2022 album. What was the idea? What was the thought process behind releasing a kind of like more acoustic stripped back album?
I think it was Nick's project, wasn't it? Ellis, really, like the strip thing. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it was Nick's thing. He kind of sorted it all out. I programmed the cajon, just because we didn't have time to record all the stuff properly, so I did my best. Which I mean, should I have said that?
No,
I
that's
played
fine.
all the cajon parts.
Yeah, you did all the cajon parts in one take.
I mean, I did play all of them just into a computer instead, because it's just like the hassle of recording a cajon is horrible. But yeah, it was Nick's thing, and then we went to Alex's parents' house to record it. I just arrived and we played it, and it was just I like it because it's more laid back, and I think with that, doing that, I could also understand what the Greeks were singing, because in the covers they actually sing it normally, but in actual songs they're screaming it, and to this day, I still find it hard to know what screamers are saying when they're screaming.
Oh yeah, I think everyone does. Even the most die-hard metal people don't know what they're saying half the time. I think that's true.
Do you think they mix it up and they change it for each show just to kind of see if people are actually listening? Or
I wish they did. Just like randomly start singing about like lollipops and stuff, and just hopefully no one realise.
Yeah. No one will actually. We'll have this one breakdown that we do in Bury Me Under, where I think the lyric on the album is "I stand my ground, bitch," which is it's already quite rude, but like I practiced a bunch of times. I don't know if you ever did it live, but he changes it to "I suck my own dick," and I don't know if you ever did that live. Like he could have easily and gone away with it, for all I know. I'll ask him if he's ever done that. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So as we said, you had your first EP under this kind of like part of the history of the band.
Yeah.
Your path in 2017, and then your newest album, Phases, which was 2022. And that. How do you think your music's kind of developed since then to now?
In between that, there was the so like the guys put out an album in 2020 as well that was just like self-released. That one wasn't on UNFD. Yeah, and that is kind of like the middle ground, like between the sounds. There's like the proper metalcore of a new path, and then the new kind of like more varied like modern metalcore of like Phases. And yeah, the middle is like Zodiac, and yeah, it's kind of like it's quite genty, and there's like a lot of like patterns still. Like it isn't quite like just like super catchy, like polished, like produced stage of Phases as that. It's really, yes, I guess it's been like quite a gradual like progression. I think it's just people, because like metal in general, last few years is very like forward thinking in terms of production, especially like just like the integration of like electronic music, like that's like as big a part of it as like the guitars and like the riffs now. Like when we play live, like we'll ask for the backing track to be like loud because that's such like a important element of like the music.
Yeah. It's very integral to it's not like important, but like a lot of the synthy stuff is what is kind of doesn't make the song, but it just like the complement. If it's just guitars by itself, like the synths just really help bring out the actual sound of the song on the record, which is kind of what we want to make it as close to the record as we can, but not the same. You know, like my whole thing is, people don't come to see it to listen to the songs exactly as they are on Spotify and whatnot, and iTunes and other streaming stuff, because they can do that at home. Like, you want to come and give them something they can't get at home, kind of thing.
Do you find it's probably easier to ask Drew this question because obviously you've the longevity in the band? Have you found that songs that you've previously recorded, you've changed massively for on stage sometimes, your parts in that? So you've kind of done something on the stage and gone, actually, that works better with a crowd.
Well, I feel like when you play live, it's the same on drums, like, but like with bass, there's like certain sections where it's like you're feeling quite like spontaneous, and then I try not to go like nuts, but you can like do like little embellishments, like in like choruses in particular, where it's like quite just like straight.
Yeah.
When you play live, like I don't know, like sometimes if you like doing a little real, and you can just like do it. And I know like on the drums, like Ellis has like spots in the set where you'll like improvise like a drum fill. And
like the amount of times I've changed like the actual fill in the song up, or like I put a fill in that spontaneously happens. Like I don't think I play the same fill exactly the same like every time. Like it just my brain just goes, let's just put a fill here in it and then see if it works. And 9 times out of 10 it works. But
yeah,
you know,
I love it. I love it. Yeah, like I was talking to Alex and Nick after the tour about it, about like there's like a few spots where it's like the drums come back in, and every night we look forward to hearing like just like raw Ellis for like a few seconds and just like absolutely shredding. And it was always different. It was really cool.
How have you found Ellis with the drum parts? Have you changed key drum parts in the songs that you previously recorded under different drummers that you felt make the song better?
I still play the parts, the core parts that are needed. I still play them, but I change it a bit to suit my drumming as well. So I'll add, like, instead of having more feet, I'd probably add like more feet, more foot patterns. I do the core foot patterns, but anytime I can embellish them and add like a floor tom instead, I would just change it a bit, or like come in at different counts. But like of this, I don't know how to word it really. I do change it, but I keep the core parts. But yeah, no, it's fun just kind of seeing what comes out of me, because I'm very, what's the word? Like, it is creative, but at the same time, like just spontaneous. Something happens in my brain. It's like, do this, and it happens, and then we move on. Like it's strange.
So, have you got any more tours between now and the Download gig? Then
we'll have one show that hasn't been announced.
Can I put in really quickly?
Yeah.
My phone is on 1%, so it might turn off. I'm sorry.
All right, no problem.
Say goodbye, Ellis.
It's just drained my battery. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Drew, I can let you carry on. But I look forward to seeing your Download.
Yeah, I'll answer Ellis's questions as if I'm Ellis.
Yes.
Yeah. Just find some glasses, Drew.
I've got these. I'll put these on when I'm in character as Ellis. There you go.
Awesome.
There you go.
Right. I'm sorry, guys. I've got to.
No, it's all right. Take care, mate.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
He's a sweetie, isn't he?
Yeah.
What was the question you said? Sorry, before.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. Is there a gig between now and Download? Yeah.
So we have one show. I can say it. I guess I'll say it. It's on May 20th. If that's a Saturday, that's the right date, and that's it was the 27th.
Yes, it will be the Saturday, because I definitely
they're both Saturdays.
May the 22nd is a Monday.
Yeah. So it's either the 20th or the 27th.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a Metal to the Masses in Manchester. It's their final.
Okay.
So like, you know those events where like it's like a battle of the bands to see who gets to play a Bloodstock. So it's their final. So they're gonna like do their like all the bands perform, and then whilst they're deliberating, we're gonna like finish it off. So we're gonna do like a set afterwards.
Brilliant. Okay.
So I guess like headlining that event, but it's not really like headlining because it's like a so there's that in Manchester at the end of May, and then after that it's a couple of weeks until Download. So yeah, it's just that one.
So do you reckon you've got your set list all prepared for the download gig, or are you using this last gig as a kind of let's put something together and see how the crowd reacts?
No, I think like the set list on our tour we just did was quite long. It was like 50 minutes. So like I don't suppose so even if we're gonna play for that long a download, like that's sorted. Because like we use like backing tracks and everything's on like a computer. So like, our guitar player like painstakingly sorts it all out. So because we're all running in-ear monitors as well, and all the guitar tone changes are done on the computer. So like it's all very like laborious. So basically, depending on like the length of the set is what songs we'll do. But like set list wise, yeah, pretty much the tour set list are probably a little bit shorter. It's because like all the songs are very like hype and like but like still quite diverse. But like I want to keep like the energy like high for the whole thing. Yeah, so I think we're set list wise.
How long's your set on the download one?
I don't know. I should know. We're playing last. I reckon about 40 minutes. I really don't know though. It could be long, could be shorter. But like we've got like different length sets like ready. It's mostly gonna be phases stuff, pretty much all phases stuff, and then one or two zodiacs, like right at the end. Yeah, it's pretty much all phases.
Cool.
And we've been doing this. We've got this new song that we haven't even recorded yet. We've got like the first like two riffs. So like in the middle of the set, there's just like a little like bit. We just like play that like very like sneaky bit of a song because the singers need to have like a little rest because the voice is like being straight. So they have a little rest, and then like us four just bash out a few riffs just to try and get some motion going. Let's bring the hype up. So we might bash that out. Yeah. And that'd be cool. It's like a Limp Bizkit-y inspired, just like big groovy riff, basically. So might play that.
I know when we spoke to Lewis from Rituals, talking about the kind of like the Newcastle scene and especially the fans. How have you found the Newcastle fans behind you? And do they follow you much, or?
We've got a good following here. Like we've been like, I think the scene around here is really good because the bands like support each other. Like, I'm wearing this. This is Negatives. This hoodie.
Okay.
And they're a band from here, and they're becoming like one of my favorite bands. Like in general, even though with like friends band, they're actually like amazing, and like everyone in the scene kind of goes to like see each other. Like a lot, which is really cool. There's a sense of community like developing that hasn't been there for like a while. I think like pre-COVID, like there was all I wasn't in the scene, but like since coming back into like the scene again, yeah, it's been really good. I think it's a lot of camaraderie and like yeah, like there's some people who come to like all of our gigs. There's this guy, shout out Harry and Luke. They come to like all of our gigs, and like they used to come to Mike and Alex's old band's gigs as well. And it's just mental to think like there's people who like what you're doing that much that they'll like really supportive of you. Yeah, and it's like inspiring because like you want to do well, like you want to put on a good show for the people who are like who are expecting that. So
it's good when you get fans like that. They're the ones that make everything right for you, though, isn't it? You know, that's why you started it. Having them fans that come to everything you do or buy every bit of merch you do, and even if it's just like one, it means that you've done something right. And I know we've had a couple of bands that have said that. We had it was the Black Coast lads. They came on, and they had a fan who joined them through them doing an article in Wetherspoons magazine.
All right.
Since that day, this fan's always followed them everywhere, and they said we're just so glad we weren't going to do that article. It was like all right, we'll do it, and because of that, they're so glad to this day they did that article.
Yeah. So
it shows that fans do just kind of.
I don't know whether Spoons did bands in that. That's sick. We need.
No, I don't know how because I used to work for Wetherspoons years ago. I knew they had a magazine, but I don't know whether it was just like one of the band worked for Wetherspoons, whether it was a case of we heard you in a band, do you want to do an article?
Okay.
I'm not sure, but yeah.
That's sick.
Anywhere, isn't it, to get promotion? Yeah. So, but I find with Newcastle fans, it's the same as, so I'm based around Liverpool area. And I find they're the same as kind of like Scousers, Liverpool people. when it's one of their own and they start getting a bit of momentum, they all just get behind them. It's like, this is one of our own, you know. I know there's going to be Liverpool people out there that can't stand the Beatles, but they'll never hear a bad word to say about them because they're one of their own, you know.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's like you like seeing like people do well, like it's good for everyone. Like I read this article, this band talking about it, and like they said, like all ships rise with the tide. So that's like when any bands in the scene are doing well, it's good for like the whole scene.
Yeah. Because
people are like supporting as like a community. So it's like, I think it's great just seeing people in like bands that are doing really well. Like our friends, the band called Head Cage. They've got a show tomorrow or Saturday, in quite a big venue in Newcastle, and I think it's like pretty much sold out. And like they've been a band like a year, but because they're like part of like the community and they're like nice people and like the good tunes, the people like recognize, they're doing really well. And I think that's just like really nice to see. Like I always love to see it. It's love to see anyone playing in bands in general around here. It's great.
I think that's why you always see kind of like a genre or a scene do quite well. You know, you go back to any part of history and you've got like the grunge movement, you know, how it resonated in Seattle, how all the community got behind that, the bands all supported each other, the people in Seattle supported it, and that's what made it big. And I'm seeing that with the heavy metal scene in Liverpool, for example, because it's not really been known for metal. It's kind of an indie rock kind of place, if anything.
The Beatles.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'd class the Beatles as indie rock, but but that's the kind of scene that's been there for the last 10 years. Now there's a few up and coming metal bands that are starting to show. Cut Short, Black Coast have sold out. I know they're not from Liverpool, they're from Stoke, but because of bands starting to produce like metal, and there's a couple of promotion companies that are helping. The scene's really growing again in Liverpool. And now, for me, I don't have to go all the way to Manchester to see metal bands. I can go to Liverpool quite often now.
That's class.
It is great. What's kind of like your kind of inspirations behind music? You in personally?
Meshuggah. That's it. I love Meshuggah. Check it out. I love showing this off. Meshuggah.
Oh, lovely.
Meshuggah.
So for the people not on YouTube, but for the ones on the audio, that's he was just showing me a nice Meshuggah tattoo on his back.
Tattoo. They're the best. Yeah. I guess like I used to be like really into like prog metal. Obviously, I'm Meshuggah, like really proggy, but like because like prog's known for like shredding and like really long weird like songs that is a bit like self-indulgent, but like I was always drawn to it for just like the grooves and like the rhythm, and like I think a lot of that translates into like, you know, North Lane. I think like North Lane's like last two albums that have a really cool, it's like the like really low tuned like Meshuggah like guitar sound, but like because I really like electronic music as well, and like there's not many bands can like combine them like well. Like bands do it. Like I was talking about Architects before. The Architects and North Lane. Like North Lane are probably the best at it. Like combining like electronic and like I guess like gent or like whatever. Yeah, like I really like really heavy music and then like really chill like electronic. That's like the two sides of my brain, I guess. And like I haven't heard a band yet combine gent with like chill wave. Maybe one day that'd be sick. But yeah, I guess just like that. You know, just like Meshuggah, and then you know Brother Tiger. Isn't it Brother Tiger?
No, I've not heard of.
He's like an electronic solo artist. I think he's from New York. Yeah, he's like what like I think like chill electronic should be, and then Meshuggah's like what like really intense heavy should be. I think like I've seen them a few times, and like whenever I go see them, it's like it's just so intense. It's so intense, and like they like get you in from the start, and then you just kind of locked into it, just like banging your head and just like going just like the whole like 70 minutes or whatever. And I think like that experience is what makes us like when we play live. I just want to convey that feeling Like I want to try and like if someone can feel that about our set the way I feel about that, then that's like that's like job done. That's like all I want really. Yeah.
What made you pick up the guitar then?
Well, it was bass, and it's because I was in high school, and a few of my friends had started like a little band that had two guitar players, a drummer and a singer, and then the drummer, who was my good mate at the time, he said to us like, "Oh, like there's a bass in your house, isn't there?" And I was just like, "Yeah, yeah." And he was, "All right, well then you're gonna play bass in our band." I was like, "Okay." And then like that's it. I've been playing bass almost like 20 years now, and it was literally just because someone said you should play bass, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, like no worries, fine." And yeah, it's like, but like I really, really like bass. I think it's really, really underrated. I think, like especially in metal, because like you like it sounds really, really heavy, and you're always just doing like always just sounds massive. And like when you're not playing, like if you stop playing bass for a bit in like a metal song, it's because it's like building up. So that you get to just like stop playing, and then you just like ooh, and then it comes back in. It sounds really, really heavy. I don't know, but yeah, I've always loved bass ever since I started playing it. Yeah, but it was just out of necessity really why I started.
Yeah. Have you ever played anything else?
Bit of guitar. I think it's like because bass is just long guitar, so like it translates. And like for writing music, like it's pretty hard to write like a full metal tune like on a bass. Yeah, so yeah, a little bit of producing, like not too crazy. Like programming synths and that. Yeah, pretty much mostly bass. I play guitar in a band like once when I was like 15, but apart from that, like I've never really I focused too much on it. It's always been bass because like it's quite easy to get gigs when you play bass because there's not many bassists, but there's like for every bassist there's like 20 guitarists. So yeah, there's always bass. Love it.
So for people listening now who maybe want to pick up a new instrument and want to learn something new, how would you sell the bass to them? How would you say that's the instrument to go for?
More gigs. Get gigs easy playing bass.
Yeah.
Seriously though, I know. Just try it. It's like it's very different. Like to guitar, like at first it seems like a lot less important because guitar's normally like in the spotlight. It's like a solo instrument. But like if you get into like metal, especially nowadays, bass like in the mix and like live, bass is like just as important as the guitars, and like it's just cool. It's just a cool vibe, and it just sounds really heavy. And I play it with like one in-ear headphone in when we play live. So I've got a headphone in which is connected to like my amp and like the click track, and then I've got like my amp on stage, and like it just feels mint because you get to hear like your bass in your headphone really loud, and then you get to feel it like in the stage, and it's like a big thing. And I don't know, like you just feel like you're like creating this huge sound. It's like shaking inside a room with just like your bass. It's this amazing feeling. Love it.
Is it naive to say it's an easier instrument to learn than a guitar because of the strings, or is it more complex?
Well, like so, I find guitar a lot harder.
Okay.
Physically because I'm like quite tall and I've got like really big hands. So, like I guess I'm just like genetically modified to play bass because like guitars like the frets are like so small, and I guess they need to be more articulate. But like, I don't know about easier because like there's certain parts of our set, like again the song One More Round, there's like that first riff, and it's like really fast and really like all over the place, and I'm like matching it on the bass like note for note. So like all the movement they have to do, that I've got to do, but like over like a much longer like space, and like I don't know, I wouldn't say easier, just different.
I'm only asking because I'm thinking of picking up the bass now.
God,
I've been looking at trying to try something, but I'm impatient. That's the problem.
The cool thing about bass as well is like you can make it really easy as well. Like so, like in the cover band that we do some songs, and like because it's just like a gig that you're getting paid for. It's like a wedding, having a few pints and that. Like you just make the bass part really easy, and it can still like serve the song like totally fine. Like, is this song Dreams by Fleetwood Mac? You know that one?
Yeah.
Like we'll do that, and it's literally like on the CD, like he plays more notes, but I don't even know. It's just like that for 5 minutes.
All right.
And like and it's like my favorite one because I was getting just like chill and just like listening to everything and just like, you know, yeah, it's meant. So like can be easy. Like when you're starting out, it's cool because you can pick it up quite quick and you can like play along to a song like quite quick. But like getting really good at it and like practicing a lot. It's just the same as guitar. Like it's just the same.
No, I just think I do know it's like a modern misconception that people think, oh, bass is the easy one, so that's an easy option. And I watch when I'm at gigs. I'm very visual, so I watch kind of like the basses in it, and it doesn't look easy. There's like, no way it looks easy.
Yeah, because because modern metal doesn't have as many like guitar solos or as much like proper like Dragon Force-y type stuff. So like I'm sure Dragon Force's bassist has got an easier time than like, you know, him and Lee. But like if you're just playing like riffs for the whole set, it's everyone's like playing like the same thing.
Yeah.
So like it just depends like how good you are at getting about. So like if you practice enough, then like it's fine. But yeah, like it's not easier. It's just but it can be, is what I'm saying. If you are really lazy, you just play bass. And also if you're
not. Just want to touch briefly on your music videos. They're very well produced and for a new upcoming band, you know, you see a lot of like very low tech videos produced, but yours are quite cinematic and who's the brainchild behind them?
So like we make our own like videos. So when we got our deal with UNFD, we had a budget for all the music and all the music videos.
Okay.
And we talking to our manager at the time, and like he was giving us like directors to like use for the music videos. But their videos didn't look like good enough. So like for instance, like £4,000, like paying that upfront for like director, the everything would be like $4,000 video. Like to us didn't like look like that like slick. So we managed to convince the label to just like let us spend that budget on like the equipment to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And then like Nick again, he's like directed and edited, and basically just like produced all our videos. Like he did it all himself. Like we had we all did like ideas about the concept, like you know that black and white one where it's like black, white, and red.
Yeah.
Like that one was like my idea to do that, and then have like that's me getting waterboarded in that video, you know.
All right, okay.
Yeah. So like we'll have like ideas about that, but yeah, like it's basically Nick who does like all the technical side of it. Like it takes him like forever, but yeah, I think like for the money, because like he already had the expertise to do it, I think for the money they came out like a lot better than they would have just paid someone.
Yeah,
they're
amazing. I was watching them all today. I was thinking, like you go and see, you see some videos and you can see that bands have obviously put a lot of time into them, but the budget's not there. And these look like for some reason I got this kind of like Japanese vibe through them all.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I see that. There's that. I don't know if it destroys all. That was kind of part of the inspiration. It's kind of like it's meant to be in like I think even on the video it says that we shot it in. It's either Beijing or Tokyo, but it was saying that we went to a country, but we didn't. We shot it in Newcastle. We shot it we shot it in a place in Newcastle known as Piss Alley. That's where we shot it. But but through the magic of editing, you can make it look like Tokyo. It's amazing.
It's amazing what you can do with technology now, isn't it? So, what's the plan after Download then? What's in store for October ends?
Nothing's like really set yet. I know that like we're looking to put out some more singles. We've got at least one that's pretty much ready to go.
Yeah.
And then we've got like another one that's close. And we've got like a few like people in the band are always like writing.
Yeah.
Like especially Nick, like he's always like writing new stuff. So we've got like a new folder full of like demos. We got that, but I guess I think people want to like tour more. I think we're going to hopefully get like another tour in before the end of the year. But yeah, I think wanting to release at least a couple more songs this year. Maybe not an album. But yeah, then just tour more. Just like try and connect with small people. Just
strike while the iron's hot and hopefully get some spill away from downloading that.
Yeah. Hopefully, Meshuggah will see we're a download and take one to hopefully.
You never know. So we'll come into the final part of the podcast, the up close and personal row. So I'll start it off with a relatively easy question. But if there was a festival in your back garden, who would you have as the headliner? I think I already know the answer to this. But...
So like the main headliner is Meshuggah.
Yeah.
Like Instagram did this. Do you remember last year there was that app that did it for you? It made all your like it got all of your Spotify plays and it makes a poster out of it.
Oh, and
wow. It was sick. It was sick. I'll find it. I'll send it to you after this. It was and mine was the headlines were like Meshuggah, Brother Tiger, and Gojira, and like absolutely, that's what it'd be. That does make sense.
Nice.
Easy.
If October ends, we're going to do a collab with any artist alive. Who would it be?
I'm not going to say like Meshuggah for every question, and also that's like a conflict of style, so that wouldn't work.
So personal is Meshuggah, but if you were doing it, from a business point of view, who would you have?
I wouldn't want to collab with Meshuggah. Meshuggah, I don't want anything to do with that. I'm just going to watch Meshuggah. Like, I know, like, I know people like because we've had like guest rappers on tunes before, and that's been really cool. I think of someone I know, Nick. Was that sorry?
You've also done a collab already as well with Kid Bucky as well, haven't you?
That was right.
One of your recent,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool tune. Like, like he came through with that. It's like really like aggressive, like modern.
How did that come about?
So when we were talking about the release of the album, which was mostly written at the time, our manager in the label kind of put it to us that the idea of getting a guest rapper on.
Okay.
Just because like you reach their fan base, like they reach yours and stuff, So and then like there was a few names floated about, and then I think someone had the name Kid Bucky, and like we checked out his stuff. Like he's doing that like it's like the modern new metal like rappy sound.
Yeah, fusion kind of style, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And like he did tunes with Corey Taylor, so like he's in like metal world.
Yeah,
and I think he's dead good. So that like it made sense, and then we just sent him the stuff, and like we just worked on it, and anyone to collab with, I guess. Like I know Nick would say Halsey, Halsey, and I really like Halsey as well. So Halsey. Not Meshuggah.
All right. If you if for some bizarre reason you found yourself on death row, what would your death row dinner be?
First thing in mind there. So my ex-girlfriend's mum used to make really, really nice dinner for Easter. It was always Easter. So she made so it was like cauliflower cheese and lamb. But it was like Mary's cauliflower cheese and lamb, so that'd be my I'd be on death row. I'd text my ex-girlfriend. I'd be like,
I was about to say, would that be an awkward text on death row? But...
I'm gonna die anyway. It's fine. So I'd just be like, you text your mum and get us to cook some scran, and then sorted.
Yeah. What would you wash it down with?
Ooh, tinny. Which one? My favorite. I really like star prawn.
Yeah.
It's not particularly fancy, I know. Like I really like tinnies in bottles that you just get from like Tesco, like 4 for $5. That's like my favorite.
I've got into Aldi lager at the moment.
Is that any good?
So they do. I think it's called Saint Etienne, which is like a equivalent of Stella. And they
Okay.
do one called Galahad or something that was it's
Yeah.
their equivalent of Foster's.
Mhm.
And they're both, you know what, they're both all right. They're not amazing, but when you drinking in the garden or
Yeah,
whatever,
who cares, man?
yeah,
Yeah, the way I see it, like with tinnies, yeah, like, cause I know they do one. Is it called like 1886 or something? Like it's not 1664. It's like their Cronenberg. Yeah, like I don't know. When you're having tinnies, just getting 8 tinnies for £6 is just always like it's always mint. Like who cares what it is?
yeah.
Like yeah, I'd wash it down with 8 tinnies. Doesn't matter what, but
Yeah.
eight tinnies. Yeah.
Do you go onto the shorts at all, or
In the what? Sorry.
do you go onto shorts at all? Are you a spirits drinker?
I know Michael, our guitar player, his like ritual is to have a sambuca before he goes on. And so I've been joining him in that. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I can do. I can drink anything really, but like if there's a choice, beers.
Yeah,
beers are the one.
If you had an hour alone on a bench with one person, dead or alive, it doesn't matter if they're not music related or anything, who would it be? Who would you have that hour with?
That's a tough question. Because like, it want to be someone you don't like you don't never meet your heroes as well. So
Yeah.
like you do a really cliche one. I can say like Stephen Hawking or something.
All right, okay.
I reckon he's got some interesting stuff to say. I'll just be like, "Sup, Steve?" and then see what he said.
I asked my 14-year-old child this the other day, and they said I'd have Princess Di. Bear in mind, Princess Di died long before.
In the 90s.
And she was like, and I was like, why? I just want to find out how she was murdered.
That's actually brilliant.
I know, yeah.
That's way better than Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's really good. Who's died a really mysterious death?
Yeah, it got me thinking. Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Well, right. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, right? But like, I'm not convinced that they actually killed Bin Laden. You know.
It wouldn't surprise me. I go through motions where I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but then I'll also go, oh my word, that's so good.
Yeah.
There's certain things that you kind of question, isn't there? And you go, do you know what? It doesn't make sense. And yeah, and Bin Laden, it happened around a time when something was going off as well, and capturing him and finding him was all kind of like shushed the other stuff up, didn't it?
Yeah, like they gave him like for some reason they buried him at sea as well. I find that really, really weird. So yeah, using your daughter's logic, Bin Laden, and then like ask him what happened, and you might even be like, "I'm
still alive. I'm living in Sweden."
Yeah, be like, Drew, I'm still alive. I'll be like, "Oh fuck, arsehole."
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, what one thing do you like to do in your downtime?
In the summer, I really like like partying and that, and then in the other time of the year, really like exercise. Like me and Alex from the band and like a few of our good mates, we're really into like the gym in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, just really like it's really, really good. Just like the discipline and like the routine, and just like listening to metal is amazing at the gym because it's like super high energy, and like you're just like sitting there, and because it's all like in your mind. I don't know. It's like having like your own like metal gig every time you go to the gym. It's just like really intense. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like gym and then tinnies. Number 2. Yeah.
It must be good for you though with the gym because obviously it must take so much out of you being on that stage of a night time. A metal gig, seeing the kind of energy that goes into them.
Yeah, because like you got to like headbang pretty much non-stop, and like you want to as well. Like you're feeling it for that long. I remember in our old band, my Axel's old band, we used to play like around 2016 to 18, and like I remember like those shows being physically a lot harder. I was like really sweaty by the end of it. I was probably out of breath, and like it was affecting my playing. But then since then, kind of being like this like fitness thing, and I got into running for a while as well, just this like endurance. It's like like these last shows haven't been like physically draining, which is like good because like you want to be able to like have the energy up here for the whole show, like, you know, like physically be able to do that, like without keeling over or something. So yeah, it is really good for that.
I found running about 7 years ago before I got ill, and I absolutely loved it. I never thought I would. I thought it'd be one of them. I've always played sports. Like I've always played rugby, loved it. But in rugby, when you're out of breath, you can hide. You can be at the bottom of a ruck and don't get up as fast as you want to.
Yeah.
Away with it. However, when you're running, I thought I'll never do it because you have to keep going. There's no stopping. There's no hiding. I just loved it. Like you said, put your headphones on, a bit of music in the background, and just escape your own world. And
completely. Were you doing long distance?
Yeah, I went from literally, I was 21 stone, and I got a personal trainer who got me into running, and I lost 5 stone in 6 months by doing this in this way. And I was running every day, so I went from doing nothing to running. I was doing 5K a day at least.
Yeah,
I'd get up early just to go and do it, just to kind of get on it. And then I was at the end, because I was training for a half marathon, doing 20Ks and stuff, and loving it.
Yes, man. Yeah. Yes, man. I was like, I had a phase a few years ago. I do 5Ks at the gym, but then a few years ago, I think like I had like a weird breakup. It was like COVID was happening. I was doing this masters that I hated. I was just really, really stressed. And then I remember going for a 5K one night and just thinking that was like really, really meant. I feel amazing. And then next time I went, I did 6K. And the next time I did 7K. And I ended up getting up to went from 5K to a half marathon in like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And that was like, I remember like finishing my half marathon. It was like most amazing feeling, like finishing like a 20K, because like there's loads of points where like you want to stop.
Yeah.
But you just don't. And then by next time you're running, like you remember how you didn't stop.
Yeah.
And then it like inspires, and then it's just amazing. And like just have like a really cool playlist on. You know, everyone's, and it's just really intense, and you just like go into your head for a while. Yeah, it's amazing for your mental health.
And massively, you touched on it there. Mental health. I'm a strong, passionate supporter of mental health in the fact of music and sports for me. If you've got things going off and you find life tough, get involved in something like that. Go down to your local sports centre, or go find a band that you're into and go to gigs. And I just find it really good, because I've suffered with my mental health over the last few years, and both of them have helped me. Yeah,
same. I think like it's quite like it's like when you're in like a dark place like that, like it's hard for people to like to say that, because like no one knows what you're going through apart from like you. But like once you do start getting into like these things that are helpful, that are hard at first, like sports and like running, like it's really hard at first, and like exercise in general. But once you get into it, like you notice like quite quickly like how helpful it is.
Yeah, it's also very rare you find a community within that doesn't accept you. They'll always accept you. You know, it's always like, even if you're not brilliant at it, if you turn up to a football club and you're not the best, they'll still accept you as one of their own, and they still help you, and it becomes a very good community aspect of life.
Yeah, like I think that with like loads of communities, like from the outside you might have like a perception of it, but like in the community it's always super supportive. Like, and my friends are like powerlifters. They've started doing powerlifting competitions, and like you think you're gonna go to those things and it's gonna be a bunch of like meatheads, or like who's the big and stuff, but nah, everyone's so like polite, and like, everyone's so supportive, and everyone's really happy to see like everyone like doing like achieving what they're set out to do. It's like, it's a good community. It's different music.
I think metal is probably the biggest one that you can say from the outside looks like the most unwelcoming place to go. Most people who like metal wear black. They have their hair long. They seem grumpy. They you go to metal gigs and there's people trying to kick your head off in the middle of the gig, and they're running at you, and you think this must be quite scary. But then I've said it a few times on here, when you see people in mosh pits and they'll fall over, and the first thing that happens is everyone crowds around them straight up. Everyone's helping them out. The community, the amount of people I've spoke to about mental health within the metal community, it's so supportive, and that it's one of the biggest, I think, for me, misconceptions is metal and the way it can be treated.
Yeah, because like yeah, because it is really aggressive. So like, I guess people would think that like people are going to be violent, but people are just like, because like it's very weird music. It's like very abrasive and strange. Like it just like attracts nerds basically. So everyone's just like a nerd.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
It's like,
I'm sat here now. I've got my posters behind me. I've got
Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I've got Baby Yoda. I've got wrestling figures down the bottom. It's I
have my pig. I have this pig. Little pig. Me and Alex are really into pigs in the minute. Like pigs. Yeah, having a pig phase. You know, as you do.
Should bring a little mascot on the stage with you.
I'm sure I've done that before. I used to have a punnet of grapes on stage. I used to hand out grapes to people. I should do that again. If I remember, I'll bring some grapes to download.
You might need a lot. You might need a lot.
Yeah. I'll have a punnet of red, a punnet of green, and a punnet of mixed, and I'll throw them out. Yeah.
Right. If you could only listen to one artist for the rest of your life, who would it be?
Meshuggah.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
Sorry, I haven't got many.
Do you know what? You always find it's the same kind of. You always get the same kind of answers as what you expect from one music podcast. So,
yeah, I think like Meshuggah or like Brother Tiger, because like they're like the two sides of a brain, and I don't know. I guess eventually you get sick of it, but maybe not. Yeah, it's a weird question that. But yeah, Meshuggah.
With that question, I was asked that I used to work in bars, and I got asked by a customer once because they were saying I love my music, and he asked me this question, and he said you need to pick someone who kind of spans a lot of genres because you're fast. Mm-hmm. So like the one I always use is kind of like an example is I always say, you know, you've got Rolling Stones, who for me I prefer over the Beatles.
Yeah.
However, they're a very similar sound. They're a blues rock band. Whereas the Beatles, in their short space of time, jumped
very
from
varied,
genre to genre and varied. You know, they had the very cheesy kind of pop hits in the beginning, and then went on to like prog rock and psychedelic and all that kind of stuff. And you know, would it be better having someone like that? So that was kind of like me. So then I started thinking people who have crossed kind of not just genres but bands. So I thought, could I be cheeky and have like Dave Grohl?
Oh yeah.
Then you covered like Nirvana, you covered Foo Fighters, you covered everything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of that. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so last question, and this question is a constant in all of my podcasts. It's one I ask everyone. Mm-hmm. So, if I was to make a heart-shaped box, where I'm putting tracks in to save for future generations, what one track would you have me put into that capsule to save? It's not necessarily your favorite track. It's what you think future generations should or deserve to listen to when they're older.
It's interesting, that question, because I, picking the Sugar tune, but trying to think of something a bit more like profound. There's a song at the minute I really, really, really like. Thundercat. Thundercat.
Okay.
Thundercat did a song with Tame Impala called like No More Lies.
All right.
And I just think, love it. I think everyone deserves that to hear that.
Yeah, that's
really, really, really good, that tune. Yeah. I'm on repeat now on my Spotify, and it's right at the top. So yeah, that one. Right. Yeah, banger. Only reasons is banger.
I think that was the fastest anyone's answered that question. So thank you.
I was trying to think of something like more profound, but I'll get you wrapped up. I thought about that all night.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Obviously,
and Ellis's,
yeah. For the fans that listening who are maybe new to October Ends, obviously go and check out the most recent album, Phases, which is on most streaming sites at the moment. You can go and find October Ends as well on their website, octoberends, all in one word.co.uk, which they've got some banging merch on there as well. So go and support bands by looking at that merch for us. Check out the videos because they are absolutely amazing as well. And thank you again for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll look forward to seeing you at Download, mate.
Yeah, see you at Download. See you Download, everyone.
Yeah.
Nice one.